ended up being fuel for surrogacy rumors. Because why else are you being sort of suspicious and secretive around labor and birth unless you're trying to shuffle out a surrogate?
Indulged the theory. Because if we can show that video again, I don't know, can we show it without playing the weird sound? That belly looks very abnormal. They
purposefully misled the public, and because there was already some rumors and some suspicion, this created huge amounts of distrust.
All the secrecy, all those picture-perfect royal moments gone in an instant. Candace Owens dared to do what no one else would. She questioned Meghan Markle's pregnancy story. And just like that, the Duchess, who once commanded admiration, found herself under fire like never before. No one saw it coming, not the palace, not the press, and certainly not Meghan herself. What started as hushed whispers in the gilded halls of royal circles suddenly burst into a full-blown media hurricane. Meghan's pregnancy story, once treated as sacred and untouchable, was now being torn apart under the harsh light of public scrutiny. The Duchess, who built her image around strength, motherhood, and resilience, suddenly found herself trapped in one of the most explosive debates in royal history. And all it took was one clip, one unapologetic Candace Owens monologue to send shockwaves through Hollywood and royal watch circles alike. Candace, bold as ever, sat before the camera, stared straight into the lens, and asked the question no one else dared. Did Meghan Markle even give birth the way she claims? Her tone was sharp, fearless, and surgical.
And a lot of attention to the controversies surrounding her kids, her pregnancies, how the children came into the world.
She dissected Harry's memoir, past interviews, and palace press releases with precision, pointing out every mismatched timeline, every inconsistency. Meghan's supposedly brief hospital stay? Impossible. The 2 epidurals claim? Medically bizarre. To Candace, this wasn't a royal fairy tale, it was a carefully scripted illusion. Within hours, the clip went viral. Hashtags exploded. Surrogate theories started trending across X. Supporters hailed Candace as brave for speaking truth to royal spin, while critics slammed her as cruel for questioning a mother's experience. But in today's world, controversy is oxygen, and this story was flaming red hot. Suddenly, Harry's memoir, Spare, wasn't just a bestseller, it was treated like evidence. Every quote, every sentimental line about Archie's birth became fuel for speculation. Candace took the backlash in stride, hinting slyly that more receipts are coming. Behind the scenes, even seasoned royal correspondents, once silenced by palace media embargoes, started whispering. She's not wrong, one reportedly told a tabloid. There were details that didn't make sense even back then. By week's end, what began as a short commentary clip had spiraled into a full-blown royal crisis. Meghan's defenders cried misogyny. Her critics called it accountability.
For the Harry and Meghan thing, except for the political undertones of somebody saying, I'm not liked, therefore it's because I'm 25% black. Like that.
But for the watching world, one truth settled in. The Duchess's story was back under the microscope, and this time the glare was merciless. Out of all the inconsistencies Candace Owens exposed, one detail flashed bright as Harry's claim that Meghan received 2 epidurals during labor. To ordinary readers, it sounded dramatic. To medical professionals, it sounded impossible. An epidural isn't a pill you pop twice. It's a complex spinal procedure requiring precision and constant monitoring. Redoing it mid-labor is almost unheard of unless something's gone terribly wrong. Harry's version, doctor said, belonged in fiction, not a hospital chart. Obstetric experts online pounced. That doesn't happen, one anesthesiologist wrote in a viral thread. You'd have to remove the catheter, re-prep the spine, and start all over again. Nobody does that mid-labor unless there's a crisis. So why include it? Was Harry dramatizing, misremembering, or was it a deliberate embellishment to make Meghan's experience sound cinematic, royally epic? For skeptics, that 2 epidural claim became the smoking gun. When Candace repeated it on her podcast, her words cut deep. If the medical story doesn't check out, what else doesn't?
Well as the rumors that perhaps they used a surrogate for one or both of the children. Now, these rumors started way back when they got pregnant with Archie.
The Sussex team stayed silent. Silence only fueled the fire. Internet sleuths began compiling timelines, hospital policies, even archived medical guidelines from Portland Hospital. What began as curiosity turned into obsession. The deeper people dug, the stranger it got. A royal birth had become a global investigation. At the center, Meghan Markle, quiet but surrounded by disbelief. Then came the jaw-dropper. Meghan allegedly left the hospital just hours after giving birth. According to Harry's memoir, she delivered Archie early morning and was back home by lunch, smiling, glowing, and resting. Soon, the chaos around Archie's birth eclipsed the joy itself. For centuries, royal births follow tradition. The Queen informed first, official notice on the palace gates, then the press. But Meghan and Harry shattered every rule. Buckingham Palace first announced she was in labor, only to reveal hours later that she'd already given birth. Reporters were blindsided, rewriting headlines in real time. Some said Archie was born that morning, others claimed the night before. It was confusion bordering on chaos. The palace blamed privacy. Insiders whispered control. Meghan wanted to...
Democrats saying it, we see that pollution all throughout Hollywood. So this Hollywood star going into a country that really sort of loves its
dictate every detail, every headline. That gamble backfired spectacularly. Within days, inconsistencies piled up. Why was the press misled? Why no traditional hospital photo op? Why did the palace seem confused by its own statements? Every unanswered question birthed a new conspiracy theory. Even royal correspondents usually loyal to the Sussexes felt duped. We were lied to, one admitted anonymously. It felt like a cover-up, not a celebration. Candace Owens amplified their frustration. Her argument was simple. Privacy had turned into a shield for deceit, and millions agreed. By the end of that frantic week, Meghan's image, the strong, modern mother, was crumbling. What once seemed empowering now looked calculated. She wasn't breaking tradition, she was rewriting it to serve her own script. As the tension grew, even Portland Hospital, once an emblem of royal luxury, found itself dragged into the storm. Harry's memoir painted it like a 5-star maternity. Spa soft lights, gourmet meals, angelic nurses. Insiders scoffed. Lovely story. One staffer allegedly said, but not real. No secret elevators, no midnight menus, no private escape routes. And crucially, no official confirmation that Meghan even stayed there.
Archie's birth controversy, because it's not just where the rumors of possible use of a...
When other royals gave birth, hospital statements followed. With Meghan, silence. And that silence was deafening. Candace Owens, never one to miss a punch, hit hard. Hospitals have paperwork and security footage. If this birth was real, why is every source hiding? Her words rippled across social media like shockwaves. What was once a symbol of royal privacy had become a symbol of royal doubt. When Meghan first announced she'd keep her birth private, the public applauded. It sounded modern, empowering. But over time, that privacy started to look less like protection and more like performance. Every photo, every quote, every carefully timed reveal seemed choreographed. Meghan wasn't just living her story, she was producing it. Royal insiders whispered that her obsession with image had reached Hollywood proportions. She wasn't shielding her child, one said. She was choreographing her legend. Candace Owens called it out plainly. There's a difference between protecting your peace and protecting a lie. To Meghan's critics, every move felt staged, from photo ops to teary interviews. To supporters, this was unfair scrutiny.
Being fundamentally racist, it's just like, let's keep the American BS race narrative at least within the bounds of America.
To detractors, it was proof of manipulation. The cracks were showing, and fast. If privacy was truly the goal, why all the contradictions later? Why dramatize details and spare that raised medical eyebrows? Why correct stories she herself had leaked? Candace Owens' entrance made those cracks impossible to ignore. With each bold statement, she pulled the curtain wider, exposing the machinery of royal PR. What was once hailed as modern motherhood was now a performance viewed by millions, questioned, dissected, doubted. The Duchess's truth was slipping through her fingers, and the world could feel it. Candace Owens' words struck like lightning, and the aftershock refused to fade. What had once been a feel-good royal fairy tale now looked like a web of contradictions, and everyone wanted answers. Doctors, analysts, journalists, each had a theory. Birth timelines didn't align, medical details didn't add up, and the more the Sussexes tried to stay quiet, the louder the speculation grew. The Duchess, who once glowed under the spotlight, was now shadowed by doubt. Even Portland Hospital, the supposed stage of Archie's birth, became a mystery of its own. Insiders whispered there were no special security teams, no gourmet meals, no secret exits. It was an ordinary night if it happened there at all. Candace pounced on every new whisper.
Slaves in its country, and by the way, in terms of worldwide slavery, the Englishmen were the first to abolish it. So she's sort of relying on American ignorance and the race obsession in America and extended it.
If no one saw it, no one confirmed it, and no one signed off on it, she said, then how do we even know what happened? The internet erupted again. For days, the first time, the palace, once tight-lipped, looked relieved to watch from afar. Every doubt that surfaced about Meghan and Harry seemed to vindicate the monarchy's silence. By now, even people who'd once defended Meghan began to hesitate. Her speeches about authenticity and empowerment suddenly rang hollow. The once relatable Duchess had turned into a headline magnet, a woman whose every smile seemed staged, every tear rehearsed. Candace called it what everyone was thinking. This isn't transparency, it's theater. And the crowd agreed. Harry's memoir, Spare, had been meant to humanize, to bring truth to their side. But instead, it cracked the facade wide open. Each emotional passage became new material for gossip channels, podcasts, and late-night talk shows. The book that was supposed to heal ended up reopening wounds no one knew existed. The 2 epidural story, the miraculous same-day discharge, even the timeline of labor, all of it now read like fiction. What Harry thought would make their story heartfelt ended up making it unbelievable. Candace Owens dissected it piece by piece on her show. Oversharing, she said, isn't honesty, it's camouflage. Her audience nodded, laughed, and shared clips by the thousands. Every inconsistency became a meme, every quote a punchline. Insiders whispered that even Harry's friends felt uneasy. It's like they were performing sincerity, one reportedly told the Daily Mail. It stopped feeling like a story, it started feeling like a production. And perhaps that was the cruelest twist of all. Meghan and Harry had once demanded to tell their own truth. But when the facts didn't fit, the truth began to look like a moving target. Soon, even Hollywood began to distance itself. PR experts quietly admitted that Meghan's biggest threat wasn't the palace, it was her own credibility. When people stop believing you, one said, "No brand deal can save you," Candace Owens capitalized on that sentiment masterfully. In one broadcast, she said, "When a story changes too many times, it stops being memory and starts being manipulation." The clip went viral overnight. Every major outlet picked it up, debating whether Meghan's inconsistencies were innocent or intentional. Was she simply misremembering or rewriting? The question was chilling. Each new revelation pushed the Duchess further from sympathy and closer to scrutiny. The once glamorous image of royal independence was now being rewritten as royal illusion, and as the frenzy grew, one uncomfortable reality settled in. Meghan's most powerful weapon, her ability to shape her story, had turned into her biggest weakness. Candace Owens didn't invent the doubts, she amplified them. She asked the questions others avoided and turned polite skepticism into viral outrage. Her persistence forced the world to re-examine what it once accepted as truth. The Duchess's brand, built on honesty, empathy, and empowerment, was now tangled in a narrative she couldn't control. Every denial sounded rehearsed. Every silence seemed strategic. By now, fans and critics weren't just debating Meghan, they were studying her. Every old photo, every conflicting quote, every slight change in her story became a clue. PR experts started calling it the Markle paradox. The more she tried to prove her authenticity, the more people doubted it. Candace summed it up best. This isn't a scandal about birth, it's a scandal about truth. And that hit deep, because at its core, this wasn't just gossip. It was a mirror reflecting how modern celebrity works. Every image curated, every word rehearsed, every confession monetized. Meghan's pregnancy wasn't just a royal event anymore. It was a case study in media manipulation. Even loyal supporters struggled to defend her. "We wanted to believe her," one fan tweeted, "but every time she explains, it feels like another script." By the time the storm began to fade, one fact was undeniable. The Duchess's credibility had been bruised, maybe permanently. Candace Owens hadn't destroyed her. She'd exposed the cracks already there. What the world saw now wasn't the perfect Duchess of glossy magazine covers, but a woman caught between two worlds, royalty and reality, and losing control of both. In the end, Meghan's pregnancy story was supposed to be about new life, hope, and rebirth. Instead, it became a global reminder of how fragile truth can be in the age of image. Candace Owens didn't just ask a question, she lit a match, and that flame still burns long after the royal PR machine stopped spinning. Was Meghan's story ever real? Or was it simply the most convincing performance of her life? Only one thing is certain, the fairy tale glow is gone, and in its place stands a storm that refuses to die.